Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 3994, where we share the stories of the people, businesses, and experiences shaping our area. And sometimes those stories take us far beyond it. Today's guest brings a really fun and different perspective to the show. I'm joined by hometown girl, Elisabeth Wykert. She's an actress, writer, director, and stand-up comedian who's worked across film, television, and digital media. You might know her from St. Joe, dancing in a leotard. She's done improv, comedy, and produced her own content, appearing in projects that she produced, like Cooking with Deb. She's built a creative career in the entertainment world. So today we're diving into creativity, risk-taking, and what it really looks like to build a career in that space. But first, we want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsors who make this podcast possible. Greater Than Financial, The Space Between, Gina's Cafe, E.L. Crawford Construction, NCMC, the Savannah campus, Scooter's Coffee, and Pancakes, Pups, and Suds. All right, let's get into it. Elisabeth, thanks for being here. First of all, how are we A, not going to laugh, and B, not cuss during this interview?
I would hope that you're laughing the whole time. Let's get out of TV newscaster mode.
Thank you.
And let's just release those inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin.
Okay. Feel the rain on your skin. Okay.
You got it.
The question today is how? That is my question. How does one have the confidence to dance around in a leotard in public?
You know, I've learned that if you're ever scared doing something, you should probably just do it. And that's kind of where the leotard came in. Also, I just love leotards. I have always been obsessed with 80s. I said I was born in the wrong decade. My hair in its natural state is total 80s wear. In high school at Savannah, I competed in the lip sync competition and I did a whole 80s workout and it got first place. Just, you know.
What?
I know, it's the origin.
Have you always been funny?
I guess so. I mean, I always put on plays and all of those things for my family and I'd drag people in. And I would just, I'd just do things. And I watched a lot of TV Land. We watched a lot of I Love Lucy and Three Stooges and funny stuff. But we watched like normal sitcoms. I feel like because I was this surprise child to parents in their 40s, I got a lot more like entertainment in my normal life. And then that kind of then projected.
Awesome. Okay, childhood. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up here. I started in Union Star, and then when I was 10, we moved to Savannah.
Okay, so growing up in a small town.
I know. Savannah was the big city. We started in, because you know, Union Star is like 400 people. And when I heard we were moving to Savannah, I was like, we got the pool. We got the pool. That's all I wanted. We got like 3 pizza places. It was bumping.
Which, ironically, we're trying to get, a new pool right now. Crazy. And so do you think growing up in a town that's maybe smaller than many people, I know that's part of your shtick too, is you talk about growing up in a small town. What did it give you? And do you think that it really helped your career in this way?
Well, I never knew that it was so special or stood out that I grew up until I took a commercial acting class. And part of it, we just like all said 3 random facts about ourselves. And then if anything stood out, then the teacher let us know or other people let us know. So I was like, oh, I grew up in a town that had 400 people and everyone lost their mind. They couldn't, because they couldn't comprehend 400. And I was like, well, then we moved to the big city of 4,000. They're like, bless your heart. Bless your heart. So then I was like, oh, we just gonna keep using this then. Okay.
Okay, girl. Tell me about your journey. You graduated from Savannah High School. Mm-hmm. What year?
Oh, gosh. 2007. We're coming up on 20.
You're so old.
We're coming up on 20.
Oh, my gosh. Are you going to plan the reunion?
Oh, no. Okay. I know.
Maybe you should.
I know. Maybe they should reach out to me. I don't know. I don't check chats.
You could be the entertainment.
I know. I don't think anybody would want me to be.
Whatever. Okay, so after graduation, then what?
I went to UMKC. I started as a psych major. I really wanted to do psychology within children and doing that sphere. And I still really love psychology. I keep studying on it. But I switched to accounting for 1 semester. I love numbers. I'm a big data collector, but it was not a good idea. You should not put all of this in an accounting firm, you know, that's just not a good idea. Most accountants, no offense to accountants out there, you know, sorry, but you're boring. Anyway.
What's crazy about you is, I didn't even know this until a few weeks ago, that you enjoy the data and you enjoy the psychology. Put those two things together in social media and you're kind of a force to be reckoned with.
Well, thank you for noticing.
Yes.
Yes, it really is. It helps a lot with keeping me grounded, and because it is hard. It's hard in any career, but it is hard when you're constantly getting feedback. I feel the same if you were like a restaurant getting Yelp reviews all the time. Like, it's kind of like that. That would be really difficult, and you're just like, this is my baby, but it's like, it's not even that. This is me, and I have to get that. That's hard. But
we're going to talk about that, but let's finish. UMKC 2.
So I switched to public speaking. I was taking public speaking as one of my elective classes, and she was one of the director. Like, I don't think she was the director, but she was one of the people in the department. She was like, please just come to my office, please. And so I eventually did and switched to public speaking. Well, communications within public speaking was my emphasis with that. And graduated in 2011. Could not find a corporate job. All I wanted was a corporate job. I grew up poor, so I just wanted a corporate job with benefits. And that was all I needed in life. And it didn't happen. And so in 2013, me and my husband moved to California so I could study acting. And then I got a lot of corporate job positions that loved me. They were all temp work, and they're like, please stay on full time. And I'm like, no, I got a dream. I have a dream. So yeah, it's funny how life kind of puts those little pivots in your life.
Okay, tell me about your time in LA.
No, the best, man. There was no 92-degree weather to 30-degree weather to 70-degree weather to snowing. You know, it was just 75, 90% of the time. And then it rained for a month. And then maybe it was like 90 degrees. It was beautiful.
Well, what else?
I
like,
know.
the weather's not the only great place about LA for an aspiring actress.
It's really nice being around a lot of creative people. That's like the biggest thing I miss. I miss improv a lot because I love improv. And it's just, you have such a large hub of people who are hungry and hustling, who are in your field, which then motivates you to be better. And that was really nice, and the opportunities. And that I'd come up with a sketch comedy idea. I'm like, call up all my friends. Hey, who wants to be in this? I think you would be good cast for this. And they would all be like, I'm game, which was so nice. And then Disneyland was 25 minutes away. So
Did you do a stint?
a what?
A stint at Disneyland?
What do you mean a stint?
Like, were you like Belle from Beauty and the Beast? Or like Tinkerbell?
No, I would never audition for those. I don't think they would have hired me.
Why not?
I was like, at the time when I was in LA, at my thinnest, I was like Missouri thin and Los Angeles thick. You know, like, it's very different casting, which is also very sad in the distribution of Hollywood. But it's the same into Disneyland. There's no thick bells, you know.
All right, well,
Just a season pass holder, you know.
What was the reason why you gave up Hollywood and decided to come back to Northwest Missouri?
Well, I didn't give up to the Hollywood because
She's not done yet.
Well, Hollywood just, it exists everywhere. It doesn't exist in Hollywood right now. If you pay
Not anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
And because of COVID. So that's what happened. COVID happened, and we saw the opportunity that we could, for the one time in the past 8 years, be close to family, because my husband's family lives here. My mom still lives here, and at the time my dad lived here too. He passed 7 weeks after we moved here.
Oh,
which,
I'm sorry.
Thank you. It was very wonderful getting those extra 7 weeks with him, all because I had started doing social media and I had all of this attention, and I had an agent who didn't mind that I like just did submissions online, because that's where the industry moved to. And so like, I literally moved back, and the next week I had to fly back to California to do America's Got Talent. And then I think I did 4 other flyouts for working within that first year of moving here. So I was like, I really didn't leave because the industry just changed.
Okay, America's Got Talent. You are the only person, dare I say, from Savannah, Missouri, who has taken the stage. Tell me about it. What was that experience like?
It was terrifying. Talk about being confident in a leotard. Doing it there, it was very terrifying. But great, and also eye-opening, and seeing how the whole experience went down. And I'm very fortunate that the producers, like the person who was tied with me, was very kind and just, you know, don't give up, don't do the things. Like, this is, there's a lot of insider, which I know other people go and talk. It's It's reality TV, which means it's not 100% real. There is some dose of real to it, but there's a lot of not.
What are you talking about? If anyone knows me, they know I'm a junkie when it comes to reality TV. News and reality TV, they somehow go together.
Yeah.
But I don't believe you. Really. It's not real.
Well, like I had a friend who got cast for it. They asked her to do it and they wanted her to make a version of this comedy song that she did, but for the judges. And she did that. And she had to go back and forth with rewrites of getting it approved for like 6 months. Finally went and did it. And she was on the same season as I. And they didn't use any of it. She got 4 yeses and they didn't even air her audition, period. They aired like 2 seconds of her being there.
No.
Yeah, so it's like things like that. And then another group of people that I know, they technically got 2 no's and 2 yeses, which is not enough to go by, which was insane because they were already very famous and they're very talented. And if I said their name, you would probably know who they are. But because they were who they were and they were so good, they got to the next round. They just didn't air what the judges. So
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. And in the entertainment industry, what is that like for you when you had a chance to peek behind the curtain? Did it disappoint you?
No, I think it just kind of makes it more real of this is just a job. Every job is like this. There's always backdoor meetings that are happening to make the whole company run. And people really put like, I think entertainment, I don't know why. I mean, I could give like a bunch of different reasons. They put it on this pedestal of like, you can see into these people's lives and it's like, they're just humans working another job that's no different than going to the office and working. Like a lot of the stuff that I did at the office, like the reason I can do what I do is because I learned all of these things here. I'm doing most of those things on my day-to-day. And yeah, they're just people doing a job and that's how jobs go sometimes.
Which is incredible when we talk about your day-to-day, because as we talked a few weeks ago, your day-to-day is about data, it's about psychology, it's really not necessarily about pole dancing on a stop sign in St. Joe. Explain to me your day-to-day.
Well, I be working the pole once a week.
Stop it.
Everyone's like, man, I would be outside every day. And I'm like, I film 1 day a week. Maybe if I'm doing sketches or something, those pop in throughout the week. But all the leotard content is 1 day a week because that's how it has to be. And my husband films and he has a 9 to 5, so that's his day off.
Okay, pause. How many followers do you have on Facebook right now?
I think it's 465. I just looked at it.
465,000 followers. Tell me about the numbers.
So for
Views.
all of this,
Yeah.
for all of the socials?
Yeah.
I think Instagram I have not checked in a while. I think it's 360, 350 or something. I know it's over 3, which I thought was insane.
Followers or views?
Followers. Oh, views I have no idea. I have never checked the data on views because I don't know how to accumulate it all.
Ask chat.
Ask chat.
Chat told me the other day.
Chat will tell you?
You would not believe that this podcast, after 25 episodes, 27 when this airs, 300,000 views.
I'm so proud
Is
of
that
you.
possible?
I'm so proud
It
of you.
doesn't seem possible.
No.
But, and chat may be wrong, but when you add up TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's surprising, right?
It adds up really fast.
Tell me about your most famous video.
The water under the bridge. I did a video at 3 months pregnant, mind you, and I had not like announced I was pregnant, but like I always made a joke that I just always look like I'm 3 months pregnant, and sure enough, no one knew. They're like, "What's the surprise?" Like the next video, I announced I was pregnant, and they're like, "Wait, what?" But yeah, I was just doing a trend that everybody else did because I thought it was a great trend and I'd wanted to do it. And then I noticed they were doing construction by our house. So all of these cars were just lined up. And I yelled at my husband and I'm like, on your lunch break, we're going down there, we're filming. I go, we get one shot. So I worked really hard because it was so windy. And I worked really hard, and I still messed up the choreography, and I got 10 million views. And every time I post it, it gets millions of views. That one, I wouldn't be surprised if that has like a solid 100 million accumulative.
Can you believe that?
That's insane. That is insane.
Do you know how hard it is to get like 2 likes on something? We've talked about this, and it will eat at you that people aren't watching, people aren't commenting, people aren't subscribing or loving it. Tell me how you deal with that day to day.
Well, whenever I hit 4,000 followers, it's funny, and this is the 3994, because Savannah had 4,000 people roughly population. And when I hit 4,000 on TikTok, I was like, I have as many followers in my hometown. I'm good. Yeah. And so I do look at the numbers and I study and everything, but I really, in the day-to-day, I look at the bigger picture just to kind of give me feedback of what's working and what's not. I don't take it personally. It's more just like, you know, go back to the restaurant analogy. What are we taking off the menu? What are we keeping on the menu? What do people want from me? That's what I'm here for. I'm an artist. Like, I have very many talents. I'm just so talented. I can't even get into how talented I am.
Listen, this is just a portion of who you are. I had no idea. You really operate your own business the other days of the week when you're not filming, editing, obsessing over, I know you're not, the views. But tell me about your other business. You're an entrepreneur.
I know. I just like came to terms with the fact that I'm an entrepreneur last year. It was really hard. I didn't want to be an entrepreneur, and here I am.
Tell me what you do. Tell me.
I go to Cup of Joe every week to be around other entrepreneurs in town, and because it's just good to know that other people care. Like people like you, that you're just like, it doesn't matter if you're in a small town or a big town. You care, and you want something to do on a Saturday night, or you just show up to meetings because you're like, oh, I like to hear about what businesses I can support and be a part of. Other than that, there's a lot of editing. I do a lot of editing.
You're helping people.
Yeah.
Tell me about that part. That's the business.
Helping people.
You're helping people with their social.
Oh, I do one-on-one coaching, yeah. That's like...
I just do that on the side. No
I
big
do
deal.
too many things. I'm like, I don't know. I do things.
That is a legit business concept.
Yeah, it's not my like passion or anything, so I reserve that for a 1 day a week thing, and I don't take on more than 5 people. And my goal, I don't want you being with me for a long time. It shouldn't be that way. It should just be like, here's somebody to help you put in the habits, and then like you can go on and fly, little birdie. You know?
I need you in my life.
Yeah.
You have 5 clients right now.
I do not.
You want 5.
I need 5. No, yeah, it'd be nice to have 5. I wouldn't want more than 5. That's my thing. 5 is the limit, because that's time-wise. I don't have more time than 5.
And you have a baby girl.
Yeah.
Tell me about her.
Well, I have 2.
2.
Yeah, I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old. 9-year-old Stacy, because Stacy's mom. I do have it going on. It's a fact. And then we have little Isabel, so Spanish version of Elisabeth. It's all about me. I birthed them. You know how big this uterus stretched? I gotta have some names that revolve around me.
Here we go. Here we go. I know. I gotcha. If I could, Kegels, right? If I could have named one after me, I probably would have. I loved Emma Grace, though. Emma was so like Bridgerton, and Grace was so like Bridgerton, so I had to do it. Tell me about raising them in St. Joe.
So I do miss Disneyland as our play place. So there was a difference in California versus here. I realized when we moved to St. Joe that I was using Disneyland literally as the McDonald's play place. We would go for a couple hours. We're like, I'm bored. What do I do to entertain this kid? Let's go to Disneyland.
This is crazy.
It really is crazy.
Now what? Bartlett Park?
Yeah, we go to the park a lot. I did buy a little swing set in the back, so sometimes I don't want to go to the park because you have to on edge. When you're watching a kid, you're just like, don't fall.
But listen, you grew up in Union Star, Savannah. So raising them in the Midwest, is that something like that you're valuing, or do you wish they had the culture of, LA? What are your thoughts there?
I think there's positives and negatives to any place. There's no such thing as a 100% good thing. And so like Sunday, it was a beautiful day, and we went on the trail that goes, if you start over by Krug Park and then you get up and it winds around and then it gets up to Lover's Lane. It's beautiful. There's so many trees. So like we do stuff like that. where you just have these beautiful access points. And then like Friday, we went to RC's lunch car. I was a little upset that it was 8 p.m. on a Friday. Not 8 p.m., it was 7 p.m. because they closed at 8. 7 p.m. on a Friday, and it was quiet. I was like, okay, I like the silence, but also, why aren't people out enjoying things? Like, there's so much to do here. So I think there is plenty of culture and things to do. You just have to like make the initiative to find it. And that's the same in California. There were a lot of people I knew who had that same like feel that people kind of talk down upon small towns in the middle of a big city. They didn't go to Disneyland. They didn't go to the beach. They didn't go to hiking in the mountains. They didn't do any of those things because you have to take that step outside and find those things for yourself. It doesn't just automatically appear because you're in a big city.
Oh, heavens, this is a good analogy for your career. Stepping outside the box. How did you know to do this? You're training, you want a corporate career, you're really wanting it, you're trying to manifest that. And this little opportunity, was it a light bulb that went off that made you think, I want to put on a red leotard? Like, what happened there?
Well, I'm like, those are two different things, because like from corporate world, it was when I was here in Missouri, and then it wasn't happening, and I tried like doing a bunch of different careers. I even like started training to be a police officer.
That would have been hysterical.
I mean, I did end up playing a police officer in the short film.
There's still openings here.
I looked great in the uniform. I played a great cop.
How in the world do you pivot? How did you pivot?
So one day I went to a friend doing a play at Johnson County Community College. I think it was Godspell. And I was like, how do I do this? How do I like be in theater audition? I never auditioned for theater. I did speech and debate, but I never did theater. I never got into that world. And I was just like, you know, you feel that thing and you're just like, how do I do this? So then I started looking up improv classes in Kansas City and all the things. And then I just had a big booming loud voice that said, go to California. And I told my husband a month later, because I was like, that couldn't possibly be it. And we vacationed and we went to an acting class while we were on our vacation to see everything, and everything literally just, it was like a 6-month span, but it just lined up. There is no way, like it had to have happened. And then while I was out there, I was doing acting class. I picked up improv, I picked up stand-up comedy. I did all of the artistry fun things, and I had the leotard because the Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl. And I bought a leotard because that was a logical point A to point B. I don't know how we're zigzagging to A to Z. It's just A to B. We all bought leotards.
When the Chiefs were headed to the Super Bowl.
It was a big deal. And so I bought this leotard, and then I made 2 music videos for parodies for the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. And I just had this leotard, and I was like, you know what? We should wear that to Target. It'd be fun for a video. Because again, at this point, I was making videos regularly. And so that's what I did. And it was really fun. And I got like 400,000 views on one of the videos. And I was like, oh, there's something special.
Do you ever get stuck creatively? And how do you inspire yourself to come up with new ideas?
Man, I'm never stuck creatively. It's just a bing, bing ADHD brain 24/7. But my biggest tip that I give to people is anytime you're on social media and you're scrolling and you're looking at things, if anything elicits an emotion or a thought or a response or something, write that down, because that's like a piece of content for you. So I have a list on my phone that is so long. There's so many ideas that I will never make, just because there's too many. I don't have time to make
Taylor Swift, she does the same thing.
Yeah.
She has a list in her phone of songs.
Me and T Swift are the same?
Yes. T Swift does it too.
No.
Both creatives.
Well, there you go. So make a list. I keep it in the phone because you never know when inspiration's going to pop up. And that kind of takes away the hurdle of, oh, well, I can't do anything because I don't have any good ideas. No, you got a whole list of good ideas. So yeah, there's always, and then there's some days where I'm just like, well, I don't want to do any of those things.
Now, you know that I'm not, dragging our interview out to get to this topic, because this is what I'm going to tease the heck out of.
Okay.
But this month, you got a note.
Not this month, this weekend. It's
going to air in 3 weeks. Come on, girl.
Sorry.
Come on, girl. Work with me. You got a letter in your mailbox, a little note from a neighbor. Tell me what it said.
It was mailed. It had postmarked and a stamp. Yeah, it was straight up
I
mailed.
thought girl just dropped it by. She didn't want a camera.
It was mailed. Yeah, they were smart. There was no camera catching the footage there.
She used a stamp.
There's a stamp. It went all the way to Kansas City. Because if you didn't know, St. Joe Mail, even locally, if you don't drop it off at the downtown office or something, it goes to Kansas City and comes back.
And she bought a stamp.
She bought a stamp.
And we assume it was a female based on the
handwriting analysis.
What did said note say?
She said that all the neighbors call me the pole dancer, and I'm an embarrassment. I only read it once, and I posted it up on Facebook, and I did not.
I've read it 3 times.
I didn't reread it. That's me protecting my own mental health as per usual, because I don't want that thing festering. But I do have a pretty good memory. Once your brain takes it in once, and it's there somewhere floating around.
I do not want to bring it up, but an embarrassment, a pole dancer, the neighbors can't stand it.
The neighbors can't stand me, which is so funny because at this point, there's just so many layers, and I'll eventually make my own kind of thing, because there's just so much that goes into all of this, where it's nice that where I'm sitting, I have a cumulative 1.3 million followers on all my platforms. And within that,
I asked you those numbers, and you could not come up with them, and now you do.
I don't know exact. I know it's like a relative.
1.3 million.
1.3 million, something like that. Savannah grad, speech and debate alum, very jealous of the new auditorium. I want to put a show on there just for me,
We can rent that out. We can dream.
Can we just have a party up there anyways?
But she actually said, not only were you embarrassment, but get a real job.
Yeah, and also I've had so many neighbors. Love. Dear friend, love your neighbor. But I've had so many neighbors who talk to us while we're filming, who mow our lawn when we're busy, who you give treats to when it's their birthday, who got flowers for me when their kid came over to hang out at my house.
You're quite normal.
Yeah-ish. and everybody who waves, and then the people who join in and dance. And these are not people who are just driving by. They're like, I live in that house over there. These are people who are legit my neighbors. I did not know outside of the fact that I went outside and did my pole dancing. So sorry, lady, I don't think I think the person you're talking to is yourself, but you want to hide behind well, we all think that, which is a great thing to kind of just remember, and why I do share that occasionally, because I have this big built armor of all these followers and the support that's already built in. But what if I didn't have that and somebody came into me and was like, yeah, what you're doing is an embarrassment? You'd probably stop. And the fact is the numbers are probably still the same. You probably still have all this support that's not being spoken up, or that you don't actually see, and you just see the negative. So
let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Because I've shared with you, it's difficult to put yourself out there, and you don't see the good, you see the negative, you see the bad, you get the comment, or you don't get the comment, you don't get the like. Social media can be terrifying. It can be discouraging. So what are your thoughts on that, and how do you stay positive?
So first rule I tell everybody I work one-on-one with is to get a therapist.
Yes.
No joke. One person I worked with was a therapist. She goes, I love that you say that. And I was like, because it's true. I've built up my confidence so much before I ever had any attention, and it still can get to me. It can still, even if it's just that after that letter, I know none of it's true, but it's still just hearing something ick about you. And so I just I posted my neighborhood compilation, one of my old ones because it's just as a non-cussing you. And and then we went to, a local shop to support the community. It was I could have just gone to a fast food chain. I purposely went back out into my community.
You went to Crumbly Burger?
No, not Crumbly. I know. We went to RC's. Yeah. I asked the kids, I was like, which one do you want to go to? We can go to these 3 options. And they picked RC's. And but it's all of that, of just I don't know, grounding yourself and knowing who you are. So then people, when they try to tell you who you are, you're like, that's not true. It can still sting or hurt, but you can just kind of let it go and move on. So I've built that up a lot through my life. I used to deflect like pain with humor. Now I just do that, but I have therapy. But I mean, I'm very used to it. I have a very colorful life. I have been rejected from a lot of places that I've been. I have invited myself into doors that I did not belong. And I didn't feel like I belonged. But once you're in the room, and I've always, fortunately, I think been that way, is once I open the door and I let myself in, it doesn't matter if I'm shaken on the inside and I don't feel comfortable, no one would know. And I think that's just like a blessing and a personality trait. And I don't know how to teach that part, but.
I have to ask, anybody from home that made an influence on you, a teacher, an adult, a friend, did anybody inspire you, along the way?
I think everybody can tell you, Mr. Pittman, he was the speech and debate pro, still is. I mean, it does like, our speech and debate when I was graduating, our pictures are the ones that are in the cabinet. Because we were really good.
Award-winning.
Award-winning. We were like, because we won every year. But I remember Mr. Pittman, my freshman year, he goes, well, it was into my sophomore, he goes, I didn't know if you were going to come back this year because you weren't good. And he goes, a lot of people, because they weren't good, they stop. And he goes, I'm so glad you came back. And honestly, the reason I came back, I did really bad my freshman year. But for our final, we had to do a new piece and cut like a short, and I did a humorous interpretation. And people laughed, and that laugh is so infectious, and I loved it. And I mean, I wasn't really on the fence, but it kind of solidified like, no, we're gonna stick this out. And I mean, he just in general, because he put a lot of hours, definitely just, yeah, and he pushed me to do oratory. I told him, I'm not gonna do it. My senior year, he goes, well, you're gonna write an oratory for this class because it's an assignment. Because I took a different class of his, and he's like, so you might as well because you got the speech. And he made me do it, and I ended up getting first all year, and I beat out the number one person in points in the entire nation because she was in our conference. And then I went on to get a public speaking degree and doing all of these things. So I mean, it's just all of these like little things. But yeah, he's the biggest one. And I know he's still a really big pillar in the community.
Let's hop back to letter in the mailbox, only because I want you to talk to women supporting women. It really bothered me. It bothered me because it was not a male writing that note. Talk to me about that.
It hurts when you see women comments and the women, honestly, the thing I want to do is go flash mob that person's house. I wish I knew who it was, and I would just dance in front of their house. One, out of petty. Two, because I know that they need it. I know what gift I have of being uninhibited and having lots of energy. And that's why I give it to people, is because I know a lot of people don't have that. I have excess, so please take from my cup. But you don't get to take from it negatively without me making money. Okay, that's why I post it. I'm gonna make some money off of it.
Off that.
So it does. It's just like, yeah, in this day and age, especially with the older people. And I have a lot of people who are older who do support me, and they get it. They must have been the ones that were like, yes, we get it. I think that the people who aren't supporting women, they didn't get it back when we were burning our bras, I guess. I don't know. I'm just burning my bra leotard style. Just
You totally are. You totally
whatever
are.
that means.
What would you say to somebody? What would you say to somebody who's funny, who's talented, and who is so scared to put themselves out there?
Well, you have an entire life to live, It doesn't matter if you do it now or if you do it when your kids are grown and you're retired. Like, you can start at any age, but don't limit yourself from living. That's the whole point, is you're living. But also, it takes time. If you love it, it's worth it. And you might as well do it because you love it. You shouldn't be not doing something because you're scared. Honestly, if you're scared, that was one of the big things that I learned in life, is if you're scared, there's probably a good reason to do it. So then you should especially do it. But it's still not going to just happen overnight. It is no surprise that I have any attention that I do. I'm paying my bills through social media. This is more than enough.
How does that even work?
I know, it's so great. Facebook, I love my Facebook followers the most, because it's the most consistent income. YouTube, I'm still trying to figure out. TikTok, all over the place.
Monetize it.
Yeah, monetize.
How do you monetize something like that?
The ads, the views, all of those things. I mean, I know that other people, like, they have the sponsored ads and the stuff like that. I feel like I'm less in that space. I would like to get more into that because I have the numbers. It doesn't make sense. Even locally, because I have a very good local pool, especially on Facebook. But like the numbers for views, that pays my bills. You commenting on a video, that pays my bills. It all adds up. It kind of, it's a whole thing, but I appreciate all the comments, and that's why I comment back when I can.
That's where your data brain comes in. Let's talk about the local. A lot of people say there's no love in their hometown. Talk to me about this, because you had a little holiday event, maybe didn't go the way that you wanted it to go. What are your thoughts on how we can better support you locally?
I'd say overall, because I've done a lot of shows here, I've had a lot of good support, which is great. But I see the numbers. I see the numbers.
I see you.
There's no reason why I shouldn't be selling out the Missouri Theater, especially when I'm bringing in 2 other headlining performers, because that's the thing. I've lived in these spaces, these connections I have, and I'm bringing it to St. Joe for the whole thought of, I just want something fun to do. And if I do something fun, people can drive here for Chiefs training camp. They can drive here for my comedy show. Mm-hmm. And I've had that. Somebody told me they literally rented a hotel and all that stuff. They did their hotel. They came out from like Oklahoma because I wasn't on tour. I was doing like the show, and that was the closest I was going to be. I had people from Canada go to Arizona because that was the closest I got to them. And those are like few and far in between, but they still exist. And so,
what are we missing? Are we just not watching? Are we just not appreciating the humor and appreciating your talent?
I don't think that. I think I'm very appreciated, and so many people are so kind and very supportive. I think it goes back to that getting out of your bubble and finding the fun. You got to go look for what's there to do. Like, I can go to a restaurant on a weekend when it should be loud and bumping. You should be hearing people. You should hear cars driving by, and it's crickets. And I don't understand that because the numbers should be there. But yeah, there's
not just you. You're saying,
no, it's
like
not
St.
just
Joe,
me.
Northwest Missouri, we have to learn to make our own fun, find our fun. Find our fun. This is the title of this episode. Find the fun.
Find the fun.
Okay, speaking of it, what's the first song that comes to mind today that we're going to get up and dance to?
What should we get up and dance to?
In West Hollywood. What's the song? The Will Smith song?
West Philadelphia.
Whatever. West Philadelphia. Or is it?
It was in Bel Air.
Push it real good. What's the song that we're going to get up and dance to?
What's
on your mind? Ice, baby.
No? What did we bump in Savannah? Oh, should we do, because it is a little country out here, should we do Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy? Should we go that illicit?
Well, I mean, we did in high school. We played that, what was it? Let me ride that donkey, let me ride that donkey. And we had a whole cheer version of that. All right, well, we don't have to dance, but we will when the cameras go off.
We can dance.
Elisabeth, thank you so much for doing this with me today. It was so fun. I know we were a little too serious, but I wanted to get the goods from you, and I feel like people do want to know who's behind that funny.
The face.
We did good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you. So to everyone listening, thank you for being a part of the 3994, where we continue to bring you conversations that connect our community to bigger stories and bigger perspectives. Of course, Elisabeth is one of those. We want to thank our sponsors one more time, Greater Than Financial and The Space Between, Genius Cafe, E.L. Crawford Construction, NCMC, the Savannah campus, Scooters Coffee, Pancakes, Pups, and Suds. We really appreciate you. Make sure you're supporting these businesses that support local storytelling. And be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, and let us know that you're listening and that you're watching. We'll see you next time.